Hello there! In this video I will show you a few T5 Dark Abyssal runs with 3 Hawks. I will be flying the 3 Hawks myself, and I will be doing so badly. Why am I saying that? Because in this video I want to show you that even if you're not the best pilot, which I certainly am not, you can do T5 Abyssals in Hawks and make a good amount of money. I, as I said, am not the best pilot. I'm not the best at manual piloting. I'm not the best at targeting. I'm not even the best at clicking buttons precisely and when I need to do so. If I can run T5 Dark Abyssals, so can you. And this is the video to prove it. Now, with Hawks, the most dangerous room you will encounter is an Angel room. However, when I recorded this run of Abyssals, I did not encounter an Angel room. However, if you encounter an Angel room, the ones you want to target first are the Cinnabolts, and then any elite Dramiels that you might find. You will want to overheat pretty much everything. Your Afterburner, your shield, reps, and you're just gonna pray and see what's gonna happen. I had rooms, Angel rooms, that I survived, and I had plenty of Angel rooms where I died. However, these Hawk fits are so cheap and the Angel rooms so rare that you will most likely make your money back before your Hawks die. Like the Hawk I'm flying here is about 100 mil. So I'm flying 3 of those. That's 300 mil. That is made back pretty easily. In this video, you will only see the perspective of the tank, so the primary Hawk that I'm flying. The other 2 Hawks you will not see. However, they have the same fit. Now, in this first room that we have here, we had a bunch of, I like to call them devotees. And you can immediately see that I made a mistake here. You can see that I got damped out right in the beginning of the room. And so my tank couldn't actually target a lot of the enemies I wanted to shoot. However, even though I made that mistake, what is great about frigate Abyssals is you have 3 ships. So if you make a mistake on one ship, you have 2 other ships to rectify that. If you make a mistake in a cruiser Abyssal, you have 1 ship. If you make a mistake with that ship, there's nothing that can help you. And so, even though I did not target the ships that were dampening me with my tank, or even my other 2 ships, I managed to kill basically all the NPCs in the room with the other 2 Hawks, while the tank just tagged things to shoot. And you will notice that throughout these runs, I use the tank to tag the ships. On my main, on the overview on the tank, you can see that I have ordered the overview by name. This way I can find things that are important to find early easier. For example, there are enemies that are called snare casters that will web me, so I want to target them first. Or there might be enemies that are called starving, which will nuke me. I want them gone as well pretty fast. And so I have, as I said, the overview ordered by name on the tank, which makes it easy to find the things, and then I tag them with 1, 2, 3 A, B, C. And on my other 2 hawks, I have the overview ordered by tag. So as soon as I have tagged them, I can just go from top to bottom on the other 2 and target them 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And then just keep shooting the same target with all the 3 hawks. And it is a very low effort. Sometimes, because of how the ticks work in EVE, you might target, let's say, the 2 before the 1, but that's not too bad. The tags identify them, so if I notice that, for example, I have targeted the 2 before the 1 on one of my hawks, I can adjust accordingly. You will see in these runs at times I missed the fact that the targeting order wasn't correct, and you will see 2 enemy ships get damaged. However, that is all part of flying these Abyssals badly. I'm doing it badly, I'm not doing it optimally, and I still make it out. To this date, I have not run out of time in any T5 Dark Abyssal I did with hawks. I have died before, of course, mostly to angel rooms. We will see other rooms later in this run where, let's say, it gets a bit sweaty, but I will, spoiler alert, I will make it out of all the rooms in these runs in this video. And yeah, in the first room you already saw that I made a mistake by not targeting what is dampening my tank. In this second room you can see that I did not target the Rodivas, which are healing the other NPCs in the room. However, I mostly don't do that, and I don't really consider it a mistake depending on what other NPCs are in the room with the Rodivas, because as you have seen, I can put out enough DPS to kill whatever the Rodivas might try to heal. You could see earlier that they healed whatever I was shooting to full once, to full armor, but then I just killed it on the next volley. So, as I said, this isn't running Abyssals optimally, this isn't flying optimally, and it still works. Frigate Abyssals are, in my opinion, more forgiving than cruisers, and that's why I run them. Of course, I'm aware you need 3 accounts. However, you make good money on these runs, so if you really want to, you could easily plex 3 accounts with T5 Abyssals. And you can do it more easily in T6 Abyssals. I'm personally not doing T6 Abyssals because that is a little too sweaty for me. I can run T5 Abyssals badly and I can get by with it, and so that is enough. For T6, I would think I would need to up my pilot skill level. And I'm just old. I can't. I'm not that gamer anymore. I'm not improving as much anymore. So running T5s badly is what I have settled for. It makes good money. You can see how much money I make on this run. We're not quite done here. I think this run will come out to somewhere around 190 mil, I believe, give or take. So on average, I would say you make around 500 mil per hour. Maybe more, maybe less. So for this video, I did 5 runs. And I came out with a total of a little below 1 bill of ISK. And it all took me I want to say somewhere around an hour 16, give or take. I took a break in between. I had to repair, I believe, once or twice maybe, so that takes a little bit off the ISK per hour, but overall between 500 mil and 500 and 700 mil, I would say, per hour you can do. You have to reduce that by the filament cost. Of course, when you run frigates, you need 3 filaments to open your frigate Abyssal, so that's going to be a little bit more expensive than for your cruiser. At the time of recording, I think I bought these chaotic dark filaments for somewhere around 16 mil a piece. So you have to take that into account. But you're making a good profit on this. Let's see where we are in this room. I actually didn't pay attention, so as you might have noticed, I have recorded this video yesterday, and I'm recording the voiceover the day after. But I think also this was my first run back with Abyssals. I had taken quite a break from running Abyssals for quite a while, so I was a little rusty in this run. But still, I was a little rusty. I'm not the best pilot, and I still managed to get out alive and on time. So if that is not the best example of me saying, even if you're not the best, you can still manage, I don't know what is. Again, in this room, I did not kill the field weavers first. The field weavers, they do repair the others, but I find that I usually do more than enough damage to kill the NPCs before they can get a significant amount of reps in. You can also see here, or you have seen this on the past 2 runs, and you will see this in pretty much all the runs that I recorded, because I do this almost all the time. When the enemy count gets low, where it gets manageable, I start having the other 2 Hawks orbit the gate at 500 and having the tank orbit at 500 on the cache and shooting the cache even before I get into orbit. You basically never want to stop if you're running darks, so you never approach the cache, or you never approach the cache wreck. You always want to be moving, so orbiting the cache, that is the way to go. And then when you shoot it, while you are orbiting it, you will actually continue traveling. So if you have maybe noticed this in PvP, if you orbit something and it dies, you continue going straight. And that is what I'm doing here as well. I will click orbit 500 on the cache, and then I will shoot it, and I will continue going in the direction of this cache. And then I will click orbit 500 on the wreck of the cache. That way I will never stop. What I try to do is, once I get close enough to the cache to actually grab the loot, I try to do a drive-by looting. What that means is I try to loot the cache before the trajectory of my orbit throws me out of the 2,500 meters from the wreck that I need to loot it. That doesn't work every time, but most of the time that works. And even if it doesn't work, I'm returning to a 500 meter orbit, so eventually I will be able to grab the loot. And then I go orbit the gate at 500 meters with the other 2 Hawks. Now in the beginning of this room, and you have seen this basically in all the other 3 rooms before as well, when I come in, I first orbit the biocache at range. So whatever I come in at, that's what I orbit the biocache at. Now you see here that actually doesn't work out quite as well for me, because I'm bumping into this pylon. However, if I see that, I will try to manually pilot it away or around it. Or what I am more likely to do, I try to decrease my orbit around the biocache so that I won't bounce into that thing again later. Again, this isn't ideal. This isn't optimal piloting. This is just how I do it, how it works most of the time. And I make enough money with these runs to easily replace the Hawks, should I ever fuck it up real bad and actually die. Also, if one of the frigates dies, I still have 2 frigates to try and make it out. So if it happens late enough in the run, it's mostly not a big issue if you lose one of the Hawks. Also, as I enter this room, I had actually no idea what these enemies do based on their name. So I just targeted the arresters, because arresters, they sound like they would either web or scram. Now I don't care about the scram because I'm flying afterburners, so that would be fine. But webs, I care a lot about webs. Webs and newts are the big issues when you're flying dark abyssals. Webs, of course, reduce your speed, and the newt makes it so that eventually your afterburner won't afterburner anymore, and so you lose speed there as well. I also want to note here that I do not bother with the extra cans in the rooms. Like you see, there are 2 extraction nodes in here. I'm not bothering with those. They are never worth it. I have not opened a single one of these and never thought, ooh, nice, this was worth it. Never. So I'm not wasting time on them. I'm wasting enough time on being a bad pilot, so I'm not wasting it for like 100k ISK in a can. Also, you notice when I go in to a room, when I orbit the biocache at range, as I said earlier, I also regroup the other 2 Hawks over the fleet menu. This makes it so that they will orbit me close, like below 500 meters even, which pretty much is enough for them to keep moving. So even though if the tank gets webbed and slowed down, the other Hawks will still continue moving. Also, in this room, I want to point to the fact we have some starving Damowiks and we have some starving Vatmax. And you see me killing the Damowiks first. Reasoning behind that is, yes, the Vatmax will take a bigger stack of your cap when they newt you. They have a longer time between newts where your capacitor will regenerate compared to the Damavik. So the Damavik will take less of your capacitor, but they will keep you closer to 0. And now that the Damaviks are dead, you can see that between newt attempts from the Vatmax, I can actually turn on my afterburner and my shield booster to keep my speed up and to get some HP in. Now you saw me use the cap recharger there for a second, which was a little too early because the Vatmax were still alive. However, I managed to keep the speed up enough with the afterburner so that they couldn't really hit me. And so even though my shields go down to, I don't know, around 50% or so it looks, I was just doing fine. And then once there was only one Vatmac, yes, it was able to pull a lot out of my capacitor, but it was taking so long that I could run my afterburner and my shield booster comfortably. And so after the starving NPCs were dead, I was able to just tag everything else and basically kill it with no issue. You might notice at times that it seems like the game is running slow like there's a drop in FPS, you will actually notice that, and that is actually true, because when your EVE window is not the active window, the game will reduce the frames so that the window will not use as much of your PC's performance. And since I'm running 3 Hawks, I am of course switching between the 3. All of these have missiles that want to be activated, so missile launchers that want to be activated, so I have to go through them and do that. And when I am on the other 2 Hawks that are not the primary, which we are watching here, then you will see a decrease in frames on the primary. That is nothing to worry about. If you do this yourself, you will not notice this decrease in frames because you have 2 other Hawks to maintain, and when you switch to them, they will run on full frames. So you always have a fluent game. However, if I'm recording a video and I only keep one perspective, then yes, you will notice that there are some frame decreases in this. Also, as I just said, I'm switching through these Hawks, and I do so using Evo Preview. I would recommend, if you want to try multi-boxing frigates, you to use Evo Preview. There is a way in the configuration of Evo Preview to make it so that you can use keyboard keys to switch between the different windows. And so I do that by hitting the 1, 2, and 3 key on my keyboard, which makes it very easy to switch through them really quickly. Like, I have a watch list where I have all my characters on, so I could theoretically monitor their shields and armors and stuff over that, but it's actually faster for me to switch through the different windows with 1, 2, 3 and just keep my eye on where the shield representation or the shield hit points, armor hit points representation is down in the middle of the screen, and just parse the information that way. So I go through it real quick, so like 1, 2, 3, and I just for each Hawk I see it like for a fraction of a second, but I still can recognize, all right, this thing is good on shields. I see if there are any debuffs on that ship, and I also use this when I target things and when I shoot things and when I activate my modules. So in the beginning, when I enter a new Abyssal for the first time, you can actually see that I click on the Afterburner and one of the shield wrappers on my primary Hawk, and then you kind of see the mouse disappear for a moment. That is because I'm hitting the 2 and clicking the same 2 buttons on the next Hawk, and then 3 and clicking the buttons on the other Hawk. As I said before, I use the fleet regroup to have the other 2 frigates move. I'm not doing anything manual there. That is too many button presses for me. I only do that if one of the Hawks dies. If the primary Hawk dies, then I will pretty much orbit other things with the other 2 Hawks, because they lose their primary orbit target. I also use this when targeting. So since the overview on both of the secondary Hawks is ordered by tags, I hit the 2 and then I hold control, target everything, and hit F1. If I remember to do it, I hit F1 first and then start targeting stuff, because then it will start shooting as soon as the first target is locked, because sometimes the first target will be locked before I'm done clicking on all the 6 targets I want to lock, and so I will shoot earlier. If I manage to do that, that is good. If not, well, I already said that I'm not the best player, so it's fine. If that's a second or 2, it won't be the world. It will not make all the difference, but it will make a little difference. You might be done quicker. In an angel room, it can save your ass. Most other rooms, it's gonna be fine. And so yeah, I'm going through the others with Evo Preview, targeting everything. You can just Google for Evo Preview and download it. There should be a post on the official EVE Online forum. And I don't know if they have a wiki or whatever, if they describe somewhere how to make it so that you can switch through the windows with keyboard keys. If you're in Pandemic Horde, then you can just look in the forum. There's a guide there that gives an overview of Evo Preview and describes some of its functionality. You can always also ask in the Nubians channel on Discord, and someone will either point out that forum post for you, or they will just tell you how to do it. It's really simple. There's not much to it. It's just you have to know where to go and what to do, but that is not. It's not a complex thing. Let's see. In this room, we had some Lucid Deep Watchers. These are. They're kind of annoying because they take some time to kill, but they are not, as long as you keep moving, they're not dangerous. There's a few enemies in the Abyss that are just annoying to kill, which takes some time, basically DPS check, and otherwise are not that dangerous. We will see, I believe later on, we will see some drone hive, I believe, Abyssal, Overmind, something or other. And as long as you keep moving, that thing won't hit you. I will be orbiting it closely, I think, and it will even VEP me. But we're still in darks, so I'm still going to be pretty fast, and its turrets will be pretty slow, and I'm going to be pretty close. You will see when I'm going away from it to close in on the gate, it will actually manage to hit me and take a fair chunk of my shields because I'm no longer orbiting it. But it was almost dead at that point. So that was fine. I think that's going to be, if I remember correctly, that will be in the last run. So I will probably have forgotten about it by the time we reach that point. But yeah, in this case, the Lucid Deep Watcher, a DPS check, you just take a moment to kill it. All these Lancers, these cruisers, they take the missile damage exceptionally well. They, I'm gonna have to reload here, which is unfortunate, but they take the damage really, really well, and they die so quickly. You can already see, like this was one volley from all three of them, 2 volleys, and the thing is dead. Also, what you might notice is when I have managed to target every enemy in the room, and I have started to orbit the exit gate, I actually already click on the exit gate so that it is my target. You can see it in the top right. I do this on all the 3 frigates, so that as soon as I'm done killing everything, I hit reload, and then I can go through it with Evo Preview, like 1, 2, 3, and I just 1 click on jump, 2 click on jump, 3 click on jump, and then we're all going. I'm also switching through the frigates at this point very quickly and a lot, because there have been times where I clicked jump through, and one of the Hawks just was like, I'm not feeling it right now, so how about I stay in this room? And then all of a sudden, the other 2 Hawks are fighting for their life in the other room, and the 3rd Hawk is still chilling in the last room. That kind of sucks. So I make sure that I do check that a lot. So I want to make sure that everyone jump through. Same thing goes when I open the Abyss. When you open the Abyssal, For frigates, there are actually 2 activation windows. So the first opens when you double click on the filaments to launch them. Then you have to say, I want to do 3 frigates, and then you click activate, and then the trace will appear, and then you have to activate the trace with each of the 3 hawks, and each one of them will have a window that says activate. And I'm making sure, before I activate it on one of them, I am making sure that all of them have this window that says activate. Basically, I'm opening it on one character, then I'm going to the last character in the chain, so number 3 on Evo Preview, and I activate the gate to get the window that says activate. Then I do this on the second hawk and on the first hawk, and then I go through them in that order, 1, 2, 3, and click activate, just to make sure everyone has this activate window and everyone goes in. In this room that we're having here, you see a lot of vile swarmers. That might seem intimidating when you have all these swarmers around you, but it's actually not that bad. Those are pretty chill rooms. You have to make sure, again, that you kill everything that might nude or web you. Those things are dangerous. You will also see throughout these runs, I'm not paying too much attention to the clouds. That can be dangerous. I mean, if you are hitting one of the speed clouds and are close to the edge, that can be dangerous. That can fly you out of the edge. And it has happened to me plenty of times where I went through a speed cloud and then lost all of my targets. That's not optimal. But it still works. Sometimes I adjust my orbit around the biocache, and that makes it so that I don't no longer go through the cloud. Also, the shape of the clouds, the visual of the clouds, not always have anything to do with the cloud actually is. So you think, I'm not gonna hit this cloud, and then zoom, you're in the cloud, and you're zooming around even though you did not hit the actual visual of the cloud. That can happen. In this case, everything went fine. I'm also not paying much attention to these towers. The towers I pay most attention to are the towers that have these little sparks flying out of them, because they can kill your missiles, and that is bad. But otherwise, the other things, I'm not paying too much attention. Sometimes that is to my detriment, but most of the time it should be fine. Now you see how I'm clicking activate gate, and you can actually see the tooltip of activate gate was there a little longer than my mouse was visible. That's because I switched to the other accounts, to the other hawks, and clicked it there too. Now in this room, this is one of these lancers, the FEL tests thingies here. As I said before, they take the damage quite well. You want to kill the entanglers first. If they have this Charybdis Tyrannus dude with them, this dude is tanky, and you will actually see me adjust how I fly, because this guy, he likes to run away. So I will actually kill only a few of the cruisers, and then I will target the Charybdis Tyrannus, and I will orbit that at 500 meters with every frigate. So I break the regroup that I do, and I have every one of the 3 hawks orbit this Charybdis Tyrannus at 500, and then I shoot it until it dies. It takes its sweet time to actually die. There's nothing you can do about that. And then once the Cryptus Tyrannus is close to death, I will return to the gate. So you see that I am grabbing the loot here. I'm grabbing the loot with my primary. The other two hawks are already orbiting the Cryptus Tyrannus, and every one of them is shooting it, because as I said, this takes some damage to kill. And once it gets close to death, I will return to orbit the gate at 500, and while I do that, I kill all the rest of the cruisers. As I said before, the cruisers take the damage very well, so they're easy to kill. They're also having a very hard time hitting you as long as you keep moving. So I'm actually fine keeping 6 of them alive here right now. Whatever they do to me E-War wise, I don't care. Like, I see they're doing something to my missiles, probably reducing range. I don't care. I'm 300 meters close to this Cryptus Tyrannus. Also, all of these cruisers, they love to stay close to you. So what do I care for my missile range when all of them like to hug me? So I'm just in this big hug ball of cruisers and this one battleship. That is fine. Yeah, so we're gonna see me orbit this thing. Once the shields are gone, it goes a little faster. And I'm keeping these 6 cruisers alive in case, as I said, this Cryptus Tyrannus likes to run away. So in case it runs like 30, 40 kilometers away from the gate, on my way back to the gate from killing it, I still have 6 of these cruisers to kill, so I don't waste any time flying back to the gate. In this case, we were staying pretty close to the gate, which is fine with me. And again, the cruisers take the damage very well. Fantastic. Also, this is, I believe, the second room. Yeah, from the loot. Looks like this is the second room, 140 mil. That seems reasonable for 2 rooms. You can see there's one tower that does these little sparks that fly out. These can kill your missiles if you stay close to the tower, or if your targets are close to the tower. But since I am pretty far away from it and my targets are closer to me than they are to the tower, I actually have no issue hitting them, even with these little sparks flying out. These sparks can kill the little drones that you see in some rooms, like the Vile Swarmers, I believe they kill, and the Tessella enemies, they can also kill. You kind of have to balance that a little bit. Sometimes the Tessellas are pretty nasty and they manage to burn you down pretty far. So you want to stay moving and kill them yourself, because the tower takes a few moments or quite some time to kill them. You're killing one faster than the tower is killing all of them at the same time. Let's see what's the next room here. Oh yeah, this is a very simple room. There's a Tangling Damovic in there. I missed it at first. There we go. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, there we go. Good. So yeah, the Tangling, this one has to go because it slows me down. Everything else, not an issue. Not an issue. We're Hawks, so we're frigate sized. They're cruiser sized. No issue. The Swarmers, they don't do much damage. They miss a lot because they basically fire from turrets, and we're moving so fast. They can't really hit us. The Vatmax, I don't know if these harrowing Vila Vatmax, if the those who launch the swarms. I don't know if they also do lasers. However, the lasers or the Triglavian laser thingy, that's also a turret, so it also gets penalized in darks. So we're good as long as we keep moving, as long as we don't stay too close to them. Easy peasy. We're gonna loot the last cache here, and we can actually look at how much money we have in this, how much money we made in this run. I didn't pay attention to the others that we had before. So what is this? 192. That's a fair run. We have to reduce this by about 1 million because I'm bringing the Navy cap boosters and the missiles. So they are in this estimated value as well, but they're just like 1 million. So 190 mil is alright for a run. As I said in the beginning, one of these hawks costs 100 mil. So if you're taking out, let's say 200 mil per run, you have to reduce that a little bit for the filaments. So let's say 2 runs will pay for your setup, and you will not encounter, I mean, unless you're the unluckiest bastard that walks around on this earth, you will not encounter 2 angel rooms back to back and lose your hawks. So that's pretty good. Yeah, you can also see I'm moving through a blue cloud here, which increases my signature size, so I'm a little more likely to be hit. However, at this point, there's only 2 enemies left. I am not too worried about hitting them hitting me too much. Yeah, all right. So this is the last one. These swarmers, as soon as their hosts die, they will die as well, I believe, and then disappear. But even if they're still around and their host is dead, they're not shooting you. So that is nothing to worry about. And this is already the last room. Yeah, right. Because we looked at the loot. Fantastic. So we're going to see a little transition or cut here. Transitioning to the next run. I did do all of these 5 runs basically back to back. I'm just cutting out some of the fat in the middle. Like between each run, I will put all my loot away and I will grab a new set of filaments. I do not like running Abyssals where I keep bringing my loot into the next run. Because, as I said, there's a chance that you die if there's an angel room or whatever. Then you lose all your loot. Now, in this room, this is actually an important example of why it is necessary to have the type column on your overview. I have seen people before who have just a name and not a type, or have the type tiny so that they can't really see anything. You can see a lot of the enemies in this room are called Skylar Tyrannus, but when you look into the type column, you can actually see that some of these Skylar Tyrannuses are Drifter Entanglers, and some are Drifter Null Warps. The Drifter Entanglers, as the name might suggest, will web you. You want to kill these first. The Null Warps, they're going to just scram you, which you don't care about, or I don't care about because I'm flying Afterburners. So easy peasy. There are also some that will newt you, some Skylar Tyrannus. So pay attention. If you see Skylar Tyrannus, pay attention to the type, because that is what tells you what they will do. You can see here, I'm killing the Entanglers first, as you should do, and we have another Cryptus Tyrannus here. So after all the scary stuff is dead, so In this case, this was ships at a web. We are killing the Charybdis Tyrannus. Again, as I did the last time we encountered the Charybdis Tyrannus, I will have 2 frigates already targeting the Charybdis at 500, while I shoot it with all three hawks. Here you can see it bounce against the gate. Well, it happens. As long as you keep your speed up, it's gonna be fine. And I'm grabbing loot with the primary while shooting the Charybdis Tyrannus. And then I will orbit it at 500, as you see now. Fantastic. And then we're just gonna have to take the time and kill this. So in this video, I turned on the Eve sound, so we have some sound in the background. But usually when I run these, I put on like a movie or show or some music. I don't usually have Eve sound on. Like this is I have a launch group for this Abyssal setup, and you can actually make it so that you use different profiles. That's actually quite nice in the new launcher with the profiles that you launch. And so I can make it so if I run Abyssals to record, like I did here, I can actually start it so that one of the clients is actually has sound, because usually I don't have sounds on my Eve clients. You don't want sound if you're in nullsec, if you take part in big fights, because sound hits your performance quite hard if you're in a big battle. So yeah, you have sound off most of the time. Now the big guy died. I have returned to orbiting the gate at 500, killing everything else. These smaller Tyrannuses, they are not as tanky as the big guy. The cruisers, again, they take the damage exceptionally well, unless you have to reload, and that's gonna be it for this first room. Alright, let's see what the next room brings. Again, I'm orbiting the biocache at a range before I'm even looking. Now in this room, you see there are some starving Damavix and some tangling Kikimoras. Now Kikimoras, they're actually dangerous. They actually, even in the darks where their turrets are penalized, they can be scary. Kikimoras can be scary, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm killing the Kikimoras first here, and I'm even prioritizing the non-tangling, non-starving Kikimoras over the starving Damavix. In hindsight, maybe not the optimal strategy, because the Damavix nude out pretty close to zero. Not ideal. And they die pretty quickly, so I maybe should have focused them over the Kikimoras, over the striking Kikimoras. You can also see the Rodivas. Again, I'm ignoring them completely. You can see repairing them, the Kikimoras, at time, but I'm doing plenty of damage to kill the Kikimoras before there's significant amounts being healed.
The capacitor is empty.
So yeah, in hindsight, I should probably have killed the starving Damavix first. However, you can see I'm barely taking any damage here. So when I noticed that, I wasn't too worried about killing the Damavix first. And so I had committed to the Kikimoras, and I said, alright, fuck this, I'm gonna kill the Kikimoras first. I had bad experiences with Kikimoras at times, where they brought me into armor, so I might have been, I might have overcorrected there a little bit. That can happen. Now we actually can see the border of the Abyss here. You see these red stripes. If you don't know, if you go beyond this border, you start taking damage. That is bad. It will eventually kill you. I'm gonna say, in all the time I have run Abyssals, I pretty much always orbit the cache when I come in at range. And I have never gone out of bounds because of it, unless there was something making me go out of bounds that I did not expect. Like, for example, if there's a speed cloud, that can happen. However, very rarely do I go far out of bounds with orbiting the cache at range. You can see here that I'm already moving towards the cache to loot it. Later on, we will I believe we will see a Triglavian room where I actually get close to the border, and there's a speed cloud, but I don't go out of bounds, but some of the hostile ships go out of bounds and take a good chunk of damage. So that is something where it actually worked out for me. And now in this room, you just have to kill the Rodivas. They have no guns that I would know about. So, yeah, you just have to kill them. There's no danger. I'm already orbiting the conduit, which is waiting for the Rodivas to die. I'm not actually sure if they even try to rep each other. Well, now there's only one left, so there's not going to be any remote reps either way. Also, again, we have the tower with the little sparks flying out, but again, we're far enough away from it, and the target is close enough to us that we can shoot it without worrying too much about it. Alright, let's see what's in the next room here. Next room should be the last one. Oh yes, this is the room that scared me. Usually when I see the Tessellals, I'm not really scared. They are usually not that dangerous, but I think either these blast lands or ember lands, or maybe both, they can be scary, especially if you have a lot of snare casters, which we have here. I'm gonna kill the snare casters as fast as I can, because if you're slow in this room, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. You can see my HP are gonna start to go down very quickly. Now they have webbed me, so I'm slowing down, and all the other Tessellas are coming up behind me, and now you can see my HP. They go down pretty quickly. There's a moment where I was not sure what I should do. Just now you saw me use the cap recharger a little too early. I had plenty of cap. I shouldn't have done that. But again, I'm uploading my bad runs here so that you can see you can make mistakes in these Abyssals with these hawks and still live. So I was too quick on the cap recharge. You can see I have overheated everything, the afterburner, all the shield reps. Now I can turn it down because I have killed all the snare casters, and I am picking up speed again. I have both afterburners still running because these Lance Tessellals, they're still putting out good amount of damage. However, they die very, very quickly. They have not a lot of HP, and they take the damage from the missiles quite well. And so they're going down. I'm at this point I'm pretty confident I can turn. I'm going to turn off the second shield booster there. You can't run both shield boosters at the same time. You're not cap stable. That's why you have the cap recharger thingy. I'm also hitting speed cloud there, so I was catapulted away from them. However, at this point, even though I have no armor left, I'm full shield, and there's very few of the Ember Lance Tesselas left. I'm pretty far away from them, so at this point, everything is back to calm. I know that these guys are no longer gonna kill me, and I'm going basically back to the usual program where I will start orbiting the gate at 500 very soon with the 2 other Hawks, and I will pick up the cache here in just a moment. I believe as soon as the last Ember Lance is dead. No, I'm actually going to kill some more of these Lancers. However, I believe I'm not going to bother tagging them. Yeah. These Tesselas, they die so quickly. Usually it's not worth it to tag them and have all the Hawks shoot just one of them. You can see there are some dying that I'm not actually targeting with the main Hawk. And that is because at some point I'm just going to free fire. In the beginning it's very important to focus down the snare casters and the Ember Lance dudes. But once everything dies down, it's just easier to just kill the Tesselas. Just target them and then kill them. No tags, no nothing. Easy peasy. Alright, let's see here. Let's grab some loot. 200 mil. That's a good run. That's a decent run. And now we're back to orbiting the gate. We're killing the last few Tesselas, and then this is already the origin conduit, so we made it. This should have been the 4th run, as far as I'm aware. So we have one more run that we can watch. Right, there's the gate. After this run, I actually went back to the fort and repaired some heat damage and some armor damage. But I cut that out, of course. This video is already long enough. Alright, last run. Let's see what we have here. Again, if I see a room like this, this is a chill room. This is a thankful room. I mean, there's a bunch of entanglers. That is not nice. But as I said before, these cruisers take the damage exceptionally well. So even 5 of these entanglers don't scare me. All the other stuff, illuminators, obfuscators, they are a nuisance at best. And of course, the Charybdis Tyrannus is the DPS check, which we're gonna pass as well. Sometimes if you see these stone woods, I call them for myself, basically where all these stone formations are, kind of looks like a forest, like a bunch of trees sitting out in space. These can be dangerous. When I see those, I am usually adjusting orbit, getting a bit closer. In this case, I will be going after the Tyrannus really soon, so I'm not going to adjust orbit too much. You saw me there adjusted like to 20 kilometers so that I get closer. I already have killed a lot of stuff. Only 2 entanglers left. After the entanglers are dead, you can see I'm already going to start targeting the Charybdis Tyrannus. So in a moment here, I will be grabbing the loot as soon as the last entangler is dead. And then we're going to kill the Charybdis Tyrannus. That's going to take some time as well. We have seen that before. But I think we have seen a good mixture of rooms. You should have an idea which rooms are more common than others. I mean, not an in-depth knowledge, but you can see you have these rooms with these FEL test cruisers. You have that a bunch. Those rooms are pretty chill. We had a room, I think, in the beginning with the Devoted Knights. Those are not as scary in T5 Darks with Hawks as they are in other setups. You just don't want to fly straight into them. Like, that will get you killed no matter what. But as long as you keep your speed up and keep some distance, you're gonna be fine. Oh, I remember this fight now. Yeah, this fight happened to be kinda in this speed cloud, which sucked. But I did not feel like adjusting too much to it. Again, if I can do this suboptimally, you can do it too. Like you see, we're all going pretty fast. This is not ideal if the target goes fast too. Because even though we're firing missiles, they can basically travel out of the missile's explosion radius and take less damage that way. For a battleship, that shouldn't be too bad, because it's still like a big, chunky piece of metal. But for smaller ships, that might be a problem. However, we're still applying quite well. And so as soon as this thing dies, we're going to the gate, as we are doing always. We have a bunch of cruisers left. Cruisers, they take the damage very well. We will see them die pretty quickly. And as we move out of this speed cloud, they will also start moving out of the speed cloud, because they like staying close to us. And so, yeah, it's gonna take about 2 volleys from all the Hawks. Some might already be reloading. For some, reloads might be coming up. We can see there's another of these sparkly towers with the little sparks coming out of them. But again, we are not close enough to this tower for it to actually harm our missiles. So, yeah, we have a few more to kill. I'm gonna run out of missiles here momentarily. However, this is the good thing, again, about having 3 ships in the Abyss with you. Even though this Hawk has to reload, the other 2 can still fire. Like you see, this Illuminator is taking damage. I'm reloading. I'm going back to the refire. And by the way I have it set up, it is most likely that the primary Hawk will be the first to reload. So they actually are a little bit staggered in their reload time. So the primary will reload, then the secondary, and then the last Hawk, the tertiary Hawk. And so I will always be applying at least some damage to the target. Reload, thankfully, on the Hawks pretty quickly, so you're not losing a lot of damage there. Now let's see. This was the first room, was it? Yes, I believe so. So we're gonna go to the second room. Let's see what we have there. All right, very easy room. Very easy room. We have one tangling Damovic. The Damovics, they die quite well too. And so as soon as this tangling dude is dead, as long as we keep moving, basically nothing can happen to us. This might be the room, actually, where we're going through the speed cloud. And some of these Vatmax... Yeah, there's a speed cloud. And some of these Vatmax will get thrown out of the room. You saw me decrease orbit there already. Because I know as long as I keep my speed up, these guys, they will not meet. So you see the last one, the A and 3, they went out of bounds. I did not misclick on these to fire. Everything fires on 1. But A and 3, they will also go out of range in a second here. They actually got slung out of the room and took some damage there. I was first I was like, why are these losing damage? The sparkly towers don't do damage to these. There's nothing else that does damage to NPCs except me. So why are they taking damage? Until I realized, oh shit, they got flung out. They got flung out of the room and took some damage there. Now you can see we lost one of the Vatmax. I'm actually going to check on it because I was like, why is this dude so far away? We just shot it. So yeah, now it's burning back in. No idea why this guy was this far away, but it doesn't matter. We lost it. As long as all the others are tagged, I know what to shoot on all 3 hawks, so I can continue doing so even if I miss one. And then I switched to number 2, I think, on my main hawk here already. I kept the others on the 3. Basically because I knew that nothing is going to happen here, nothing's going to kill me. So I could split a little damage and not target everything, because I would have had to retarget number 2 on all the 2 other hawks, and so I decided that was not worth it for me. Let's see. Yeah, now we're gonna go and we're gonna grab some loot. The other 2 hawks, I think we can see it here. Yeah, they broke orbit around me. They're going to the gate. As always, nothing in this room, as long as I can still move, nothing will be able to target me. I think I failed to drive by looting here because I'm on a different I start the missiles on a different account. But again, we're orbiting it, so we're coming back to it, and we can loot it. So that is already 184 million loot. This looks like, well, it was a good run. We're gonna kill the last one. I think the last one, the last room has the big battleship I talked about earlier. This is gonna be another DPS check. So we're gonna reload here and then jump into the next room. Yeah, the Benthic Abyssal Overmind. That is a tanky motherfucker. However, when I see this room, there is nothing that scares me. You can even see I didn't even orbit the cache at range when I entered. I already orbited at 25 because I knew nothing I do here or nothing will kill me here. And then I noticed this room also has a sparkly tower again, and these Tessellas, they die from the sparkly tower. You can see they're already going down, and after I killed the first or the second, I think I realized, hey, wait a second, I have this fucking Overmind over here that I need to kill. Maybe just leave these others be and have the sparkly tower kill it. No, looks like I'm gonna go through it. Maybe I didn't realize it. Again, not the best pilot, not the best at Abyssal, so I might have missed it. Now I'm gonna go and I think I leave the last one. Yeah, that's right, the last 2, I believe. Now I'm gonna go grab the loot, and then I'm gonna orbit the Overmind close because it might be, I'm not quite sure, it might be close to the Sparkly Tower, and if you are close to your target, then your missiles don't die before hitting the Sparkly, before getting killed by the sparks. And this, yeah, the Overmind takes some time to kill. It will also web you if you're close. But as long as you keep orbiting it, like I'm orbiting at 500, as you can see, and shooting it, as long as you keep moving, it will not be able to hit you. You can see the Overmind actually has me yellow boxed, meaning it has targeted me, but it is not shooting me. I believe it is webbing one of my other hawks and trying to shoot that. Yeah, you can see the fire going out to a different hawk that is not me, or that is not the primary. Yeah. However, again, as long as we keep orbiting this thing with the Afterburner on, it can't web us enough to where it would actually hit us. You can see we're pretty far away from the conduit, already at 40 kilometers. I believe we're gonna go a little further even, and that's why I decided, or that I will decide, once this thing is close to death, that I will start to approach the origin conduit before it actually dies, and that's when it will give me a little slap on the back. But yeah, these like the Overmind and the Charybdis Tyrannus, these are just basically DPS checks to make sure you don't just put all tank on your ships and then you never die in the Abyss. Now you can see I already checked out the approach button. I wasn't quite sure how much hull this thing would need to die, or how much damage I would need to do in hull before it would die. And so now you can see it already webbed me. Now it tries to shoot me, so we will see that it gives me a little clap on the back, basically saying farewell and mention me in your video. Alright, we're getting close to the end here. Yeah, this was when I click approach. I knew that this could happen, that it could actually hit me when I go away, but I thought I'm gonna have it dead before it can hit me a second time. So there you go. Actually hit me, took quite a nice chunk out of my shield, but again, it was almost dead. I was ready to leave. We had gone quite far away from the origin conduit. However, I don't mind going too far away from the origin conduit, or from the conduit in general, in darks, because I'm going to be so fast. It's not going to take too long a time to get back to the gate. I'm sure you can kind of maneuver around this thing and make it so that it comes closer to the gate. But again, that's not me. Alright, that is everything. We made 289 mil in loot in this run. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's quite long. I was droning on for quite some time there, but I hope you saw there's nothing to fear in the Abyss, or not much at least. And even if you don't have the best piloting skills, you can still make it. Alright, thank you for watching, and I will see you around.